recipient gave students the chance to live like nuns and monks. Monasticamp was a one-day immersive event that explored Catholic monastic liturgy, art, music, architecture, and literature. Students prayed the Liturgy of the Hours, sang Gregorian chant, and ate monastic-style meals. Professor Catherine Ware of the Catholic Studies Department is here to discuss her grant. Can you walk me through a day in the life at Monasticamp?
Sure. We had a lot of fun. So it was just a one-day event, but we were together for nearly 12 hours. So they came in the morning, and we learned some basics of Gregorian chant, and then throughout the day we chanted 6 Liturgy of the Hours, and in between that we had different speakers, and I arranged some different workshops with different people on all these different topics, and meanwhile, of course, enjoying some meals together, culminating with that meal at the end of the day in that U-shape monastic formation with some silence and reading, and then enjoying conversation at the end together. But students really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what were some of the topics the speakers spoke about?
Yeah, a real variety of things. So there was the Abbot Emeritus from St. John's University who came and gave our keynote speech on the Rule of St. Benedict. And then we had a nun from St. Ben's who talked about Lectio Divina. We had a professor from the English department speak about Julian of Norwich, and then someone from the art department talking about illuminated manuscripts.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a variety of people. That is so cool.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that students really connected with?
I think that the 2 biggest takeaways for students were having the opportunity to learn Gregorian chant. We had kind of 2 main lessons throughout the day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, learning some of the basics of the different scales, and then trying them out, of course, as we were chanting the various offices. So the Gregorian chant was definitely kind of number 1 on students' list of things at the end of the day. And then the other thing, which I guess it shouldn't have been a surprise, but many of them said that it was the first time that they had ever met a monk or a nun. And so actually meeting people who that is their rhythm of their life, chanting the offices throughout the day, and that life of prayer and service. And so having their witness there was really exciting for students.
Yeah, were a majority of the students who went there Catholic, or?
I think so, but it wasn't a requirement. Anyone could have joined in, and but I think many of them were. Some of them were a part of the liturgical choir already here on campus, and so that gave them kind of a boost to their learning for the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how can students take what they experienced at Monasticamp and incorporate it into their everyday lives?
Well, I think many of them have. I should say, I hope. I mean, this is a one day event, but the learning certainly in Gregorian chant, I think, is something that they took with them. But the skills in how to do Lectio Divina, for instance, or learning more about illuminated manuscripts, all these different things might have, I hope, sparked interest to continue to learn more.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully they can find classes here on campus that could further those interests that they got to experience.
Yeah, that's right. That was, it was part of the initial thought for it, because last fall I taught a class called The Spirit and Art of the Medieval Monastery. And the one thing I could not give my students was an experience of the monastic day. What did it actually feel like to be in the chapel praying, to come out and work or have a meal and then go back? And so that was my initial thought. But there were some students from my class, but many other students as well. And so, a variety of students got to experience something that was initially part of a class.
Yeah, 100%. Well, so glad that they could take the 12 hours and spend that with you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.